also talking to people, whenever someone reaches out, I always say, yes, this is what you can charge. You know why? Because you're freaking worth it.
Asana Rebel.
Hey, Rebel Squad. Danni Pomplun, Rebel Ambassador, coming at you with another episode of Rebel Radio. Today I have the wonderful Kelly Pender on the show. She is one of our Rebel Ambassadors as well. She's an East Coast-based yogi, and she is up to a lot. In addition to teaching public classes and also putting together content for the app, which, by the way, her classes are amazing. She's got a new set coming out soon. She's also all about supporting teachers and their growth. She's got a lot of expertise in the business of yoga. So without further ado, let's welcome Kelly to the show.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
I tried.
That's so nice of you.
How are you, Kelly Pender?
I'm really freaking good right now.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tell me all about it.
Well, I mean, can I say where we are right now?
Yeah, you can totally say it.
Okay, here we go. So we are at the Asana Rebel event in New York City.
New York City. In New York.
I'm gonna break out in song. No, but we're doing the premiere of my upcoming classes, and I'm really, really excited about it.
What are your classes again called?
Titan Toned 2.
What is Titan Tone 2 about?
So, thank you for asking. So, Titan Tone 2 is all about challenging yourself. And for me, I had in mind finding your inner and outer strength. So, I made the workouts pretty hard, challenging, to push yourself and to really find your inner strength and your power, but also know that it's okay to rest when you need to. So, yeah.
What are you most excited about with this collection?
Oh my God, so many things. I'm just excited for people to have more of a workout that pushes them to find their strength and to have that out there.
I love that, actually just speaking about your collection, which I can't wait to start practicing. I know I've seen some of your other stuff and done some of your other videos, and they're absolutely great. Kind of just transitioning from that, I know that, Asana Rebel has been a really great platform for you as a teacher to not only grow your business, but also to get more awareness. And part of today's show is really about supporting teachers and the business of yoga. How has a platform like Asana Rebel really helped you out? Has it given you an opportunity in your teaching?
I'm really happy you asked me that. So, especially at this event, a lot of people afterwards were like, so how did you even get involved with Asana Rebel? And I'm like, it's really funny you asked me that, because honestly, we did, one of those marketing videos for Instagram and social media. And I was like, I had, someone reach out and they were just like, thank you for doing that. That was so awesome. And I could have just been like, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there and ask a freaking question. And so I was like, hey, I would love to create classes for you. Is this something that you're open to? And they were like, yeah, let's see what you got. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, cool. All I had to do was just ask, put myself out there, move past fear. And you either get a yes, let's do it, or you get a no. But either way, I did that. And it was cool to have people ask and for me to reflect on how this even came to be. Because when you're in the moment, you kind of forget, So yeah, that's kind of how this all came to. And honestly, it helped me as a person to be like, okay, I freaking got this. I can do this. And all I have to do is just put myself out there and advocate for myself, and then spread that message to other people and share that with other yoga instructors.
A little just backstory. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Kelly just yesterday. We're both here in New York currently while we're recording this. And we went to breakfast this morning, and we had a little bit of that conversation about business and yoga teachers, which is why we're talking about it today, and about fear, and how there's this dialogue for a lot of teachers where they're not ready to go teach a bigger class, or they're afraid to approach a company, or they don't want to take on that yoga retreat, or they don't want to go to a teacher that they respect and care about and try to collab with them because they have this sense of fear. Mm-hmm. And what I was talking to you about was, what I like to call the imposter syndrome. And I think that this is important for all teachers out there. There is a plethora of students for everybody, right? You would totally agree. And 100%. The students that are going to come to you are going to become different from me. So there might be some crossover, but there's a lot more students than there are teachers. Mm-hmm. So not operating from that place of fear in that sense, but also the imposter syndrome where it happens that fear starts to take the dialogue over and the conversation over. And that's where I'm not good enough. I'm not ready for that. I don't know enough. I'm afraid to get a question asked to me that I'm not going to be able to be answered in class. And I have to know all of that before I can start doing that. And I know I can speak for myself, and I know we were agreeing or talking about this over breakfast, but like, that's just a big load of poop.
Big load of poop.
How do you, like, when people are going through that, what's your process of getting out of that imposter syndrome and out of that fear, negative self-talk?
So another thing that happened after one of my classes is that another girl stayed after, and she's a yoga instructor. And I said, awesome, like, where do you teach? She's like, well, I don't teach yet because I'm not ready to. And I was like, okay, I completely get that. Like, we've all been there. Let me ask you a question. What is holding you back? And it's always fear. It's always freaking fear. And so, did you ask me how I moved past that?
Yeah, like
what's my advice for people?
Because I know we're human, and so and that's if we think about it, that's why we keep coming back to the practice. That's why I'm super stoked that I can just pull out my phone and pull out Asana Rebel and do a meditation or a practice or whatever it is that I want to do, because it's right there. And sometimes I need that to reconnect to source. Sometimes I need that to remember if I can feel my body, I know that I'm here in this moment and not somewhere else. What do you do to reconnect when you feel like you're getting pulled away?
So honestly, I 100% get off of social media because social media is amazing. You can take two options. Number one, you can look at other people and get super inspired and empowered by it and motivated. And then number two, on the other hand, you could be like, holy shit, I'm not where you're at. I don't even know how to get there. And you can just go down this like rabbit hole of just shit and get stuck in that. And what I do to get out of that, because we're human, who doesn't get into that rabbit hole of just like, oh my God, I'm not good enough.
Right.
Where am I going with my life? Like, what path am I even on? Who am I? What am I doing? We all do that. So to get out of that, get off of freaking social media, like get back to what makes me feel good, so I feel better about myself, so that I can gain my confidence back and like trust in myself. And honestly, to do that, it's like, let's go outside. Let's play with my dog who loves me always.
Right.
Like, let's go into nature. Let's make me, Kelly, like feel good so I can connect back to myself and love myself again in a way that feels best for me, not in a way on social media where self-love means something different to someone else. Like, it's like, get off, unplug, and connect back in to me and what's important to me.
I noticed that when you were teaching, and this is something that I firmly believe in as well, is that you started both your practices with affirmations,
Yes.
And I'd love for those of you that are new to Kelly and her practice, like it's one of my favorite sets that I've taken on our app. But two, she started her class so beautifully today with these 3 affirmations, and I guess we should hear them from you rather than me.
Oh yeah, I actually added another one. It was 3 and then I made it 4. So it
Bonus.
is, woohoo, added a secret one in. So my favorite, positive affirmations and mantras of the moment that just make me feel good. And it's what I need to like trust in myself and have that confidence to move forward and just know that I'm okay and I'm taken care of. And those ones are, I am successful, I am abundant, I am beyond freaking worthy, and I am wealthy in all areas of my life.
Let's just pause everybody for a second, let those settle in, and then I feel like we should say them again. I feel like we all need to hear them one more time.
Let's do it again.
All right, let's do it.
So repeat these mantras to yourself. I am successful. I am abundant. I am beyond freaking worthy. And I am wealthy in all areas of my life.
And this is something that you practice every day, every morning in your meditation, in a journal?
With the mantras or those ones in particular?
The mantras in general.
So, oh God, mantras are like, that's a thing that I forgot to add in when I'm like, you know what do I need to get myself back on track? Mantras, always, always mantras. And the way they come to me is I have a practice of my angel cards.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
And so each morning I have this new deck that I love. I think it's called Sacred Rebel, which is cool. Asana Rebel and Sacred Rebel. But they've been speaking to me, and I pull them every morning when I can, try to make that non-negotiable. I pull those, ask a question like, what do I need to know today? And then the angel cards come my way. I read it, and then I journal on it. And through my journaling, I'm like, okay, what I need is more self-love today. What I need is to know that I'm like confident, successful. I trust my path. I trust my journey. Like, I am patient. I am kind. I'm loving, whatever the hell it is, like for that day. And that's where my mantras come from. And that's where it's like, you know what, this feels good to me. So let's just see if it resonates with other people. And that's where it came to be, where I always add them into the start of my classes.
I love that we've been talking about business the entire time, and yet not $1 has been hit, and not like how to scale and how to grow your business. But the truth is, it's stepping away from the negative self-talk, because everything else normally happens when you free yourself up. Now, we're so lucky to have a couple yoga teachers in front of us as we're doing this podcast live, and I know that they have a couple questions regarding some yoga and business stuff. So I'll probably repeat the questions out loud so we get it for sound. So the question was that Kelly and I are both have a lot going on, and how do we manage our time with a business and with yoga business? I'll let you start.
Yes. That is something I'm honestly learning. I'm learning that right now. And I'm learning that it is 100% okay to say no. And also you need boundaries. You need boundaries, and you need non-negotiables. Like for me, doing the journaling and the angel card thing, I'm like, that's a non-negotiable. I need that to connect back to myself so I feel like a freaking badass. Or, you know, then I like go down this fear, doubt rabbit hole of shit. So like, that's a non-negotiable. I need that. Okay, so let's wake up 10 minutes early and add that into my schedule. Like, here's my set schedule. Like, here's what I do. If someone calls me, they're like, Kelly, we want you to do this. Can you add this into your schedule? I take a breath. I take a moment. I learn to kind of ground myself instead of being like, yes, I can, and jump on it. I literally just like, if I'm on the phone, I'm like, hold on a second, close my eyes, ground myself. And I ask myself, does this feel good to me? Does this feel good in my life, in my business? And immediately, like, the voice comes to me, yes, or it's like, no. And then I just say, thank you so much for asking for that opportunity. I can't do that right now. And to me, that's like managing my time and like doing what feels best to me, and not taking on so much stuff because you don't have to, unless you want to, if it feels good. So it's just asking yourself, checking in, does this feel good? Yeah, I can add this onto my schedule. Doesn't feel good? No, I'm sorry, I can't. And learning to say no. It's a practice.
I love that. And the one thing that I'll add in for my personal stuff is like, I scheduled the most important meetings, which is my self-care. So if you look at my calendar right now, there is a 2-hour morning practice. If you look at my calendar after that, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's 2 hours at the rock climbing gym. If you look at my calendar every Sunday night, it's go to do a float or a cryo treatment. If you look at my calendar every other Monday, it's go do an acupuncture treatment. That's the first thing, is to balance my time. I have to balance myself out first. Yes. And then in addition to that, I use just really simple, like practical tools for teachers that are free, that are out there, scheduling platforms to help you manage different projects. So if you do have lots of stuff going on, like whether you're leading retreats and you're leading public classes and you're leading trainings and you have a podcast and you have clothing and whatever else is you're doing, you're not just trying to, the more that you can get that stuff out and you can actually put due dates and see it, for me anyway, that's the way I work. Yes. It really keeps me, one, accountable. The other thing is, one day a week I do a digital detox. On Sundays, everybody knows, like the people that need to know my address know my address. They have my roommates' phone numbers, and my schedule's pretty much the same on Sundays. What I do, they can find me there, but it's the difference between being busy and productive, and those are two different things. You could check your email every 5 minutes, and that's not going to make you more productive. Turning off your email after 7 or 8 o'clock, right? It's the response time isn't really going to trigger right away, and now I have set boundaries on my emails for myself. Otherwise, I'll like go crazy and like email all the time. I've had to like really back off on that. That's something that really has helped out, and it's created more space for me so that I can be more productive rather than busy. So we have another question from another yoga teacher about business and yoga. What do you got for us? So the question was, how do you go about negotiating contracts or whatever it is that you're working on? Like, so it could be contracts or retreats or whatever it is. Yeah, I'll let you start again, Kelly.
Are you talking about like advocating for yourself for what you're worth, like payment wise?
I think that's your answer, actually, because it does. I feel like it shouldn't matter what it is. I think it's advocating for yourself.
Yes. Okay, so that's just what I got from that question. So I've been talking a lot about advocating for yourself because this is something I'm also learning, as we all are, right? We're always, especially as like an entrepreneur, you are advocating for yourself. That's just what you do, right? So when things come your way, again, amazing. Let's make sure that this resonates with me before I say yes to it. If it does, you ground yourself, you're like, oh, this is great, I'm gonna do it. But then it's like, all these factors come into play. Okay, this is an awesome opportunity, but how much of my time is going into this? Like, how much do I need to prepare for this project? Like, what is expected of me during, before, and after? So it's like factoring all these things and then knowing your worth, right? So it could be this awesome freaking opportunity that it's like, Kelly, will you do this, but can you do it for free? Okay, thank you so much for asking me, but I would love to do this. This is what I can do for you. I can make it amazing, but this is my fee for that. And it's just laying that out. As I say this in front of people who, I just had this conversation with recently who, that's just how it is. You have to advocate for yourself and know your worth. Everyone wants you to do stuff for free. Of course, like you want to do stuff for free, but it comes to a point where it's just like, this is my fee. This is what I need from you. Can you do that for me? Okay, and then we like negotiate prices, and then that has to go into a contract before you sign it.
And the other thing is standing not only strong in your worth, but also I think, I can speak for maybe both of us. One of the reasons why I like working with Austin Rebel, and why that partnership works so well is because it's super transparent. There's nothing behind the lines. When you are going into those contracts and whatever it is, whether you're working with another teacher or you're partnering with a retreat center or a workshop or whatever, are your values in line with that person, place, or thing? And chances are, if they are, then the negotiation should be pretty easy. Mm-hmm. If you guys see eye to eye on the same things, and one person's not, if your values are, they want to make a crap ton of money and you just want to connect with community, that's probably not going to be the best, but if you guys maybe both want to have that same, we want to connect with community, then I think everything else just kind of finesses itself out on its own. And then the other thing is ask other people that have done it. And so like people are always like, how do you do pricing, and how do you, find out in your market what people are charging for this, this, and this. Or find out in your market, let's say you're trying to rent space to host a workshop, find out in your market what the other spaces are charging. And, it's really easy to say, well, as I did a little more research, this party over here is doing this, this, and this.
Yes, and along those same lines, I actually have people all of the time reach out to me on direct messages, and they're like, hey, I'm running an international retreat. How much should I charge for a private room, a double room, a triple room? Like, I love those questions. Reach out, ask people who have done it before. And you know what? If they don't respond back to you, oh well, ask someone else. But that's how you know, right? You ask someone who's done it before, who's like in the same field, and then they help you. And they guide you in the right direction. With pricing and also talking to people, whenever someone reaches out, I always say, yes, this is what you can charge. You know why? Because you're freaking worth it. Right? And it's just like reminding someone that and just being like, you're right, I am. Thank you. Yeah,
it goes back to getting rid of the imposter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, such good questions from our live audience. And Kelly, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show today and
Thank you for having me.
To share your wisdom. And just one more time, just remind us what your new class set is.
It is Tighten Tone 2.
Tighten Tone, and you guys don't want to miss this. She's put a lot of hard work and efforts. We've got nothing but really good feedback on it so far, so I can't wait to practice it. I can't wait to get to see more of your journey and see what you create next.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, until the next Rebel Radio episode, we will see you next. Peace out.
Woo!
Asana Rebel.